Hello, everybody. How are you all doing this evening? A lot of you must be excited for spring break. I know I am. I mean, a whole week off. It's about time that I get a break from school, even if it only really lasts for a week. So what happened today? Well, nothing much, just school. I had a bit of trouble concentrating though because of what happened yesterday. And for those of you who watched it that know what happened, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. So, and I'm afraid if I repeat it, I might grow upset all over again, so y'all might have to watch the video yourselves. I posted it just yesterday, so yeah. Do you guys like school? Like, do you think school is fun for some reason? Like from the classes or seeing your old friends again? What is your favorite part about school? And I'm not talking about specifically like grade school or high school or just school in general, I guess. In fact, grade school brings me to another question. What was your favorite memory from when you were a young kid? My favorite memory? Well, being young. Feeling young. Feeling like I have a million years left to live and that everybody loves me. And that nothing is going to hurt me and that I'm always going to be happy. Without questioning my own life or why I'm even alive to begin with. I miss those days, you know? Feeling free. Feeling like I can be whoever I want to be without anyone telling me otherwise. Those days are over now. They ended the moment I turned 13. Welcome to adulthood, I guess. The world, adult. The adult world is a world where you're never free. You're never free. You might be free enough to own your own house and live your own life, sure, but even then you're still not free. I feel like this whole world is a prison. I'd literally rather be a toddler right now than be here. And my frickin' dad didn't yell as much back then. But I'm getting a little off topic here, so I'm making this vlog to tell you all a solar story. Now bear in mind, this is a bit of a long one, and I might not remember most of it, but I'll try. So solar, He was one of Sun and Moon's brothers, although I probably mentioned that in my last vlog. He was never really fully finished built. And what do I mean by that? Well, he was supposed to be built to be this mechanic in the daycare, doing routine checks on the animatronics, make the protocols a little more easier and bearable to deal with. They started construction with him. And his body was fully complete. I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen Solar or met him online. Not met him, but saw him online somewhere. And so anyways, yeah, Solar is kind of popular on the internet fandom. I've seen quite a bit of fan art of him before when I looked him up. So yeah, I'm assuming a lot of you know Solar. But for those of you that don't know, wait, is it possible to pull up pictures on here while still recording? Okay, guys, am I still recording right now? I don't know if y'all could see me right now. I mean, I can't see myself, so, yeah, I should probably try to figure out how I can, do, a mini cam. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? How gamers, when they play a game, they have a cam of themselves in the corner of the screen. I kind of want to figure out how I could do that. But, like I said, I'm still kind of new to this, so I don't really know if I'm doing it right. Okay, the Sun and Moon Wiki. God, the Sun and Moon Show have their own wiki. Yeah, the character is also on this channel called The Sun and Moon Show, although a lot of you probably watch their videos, so yeah, a lot of you might have known who he is. Okay, there's a lot of you talk about him returning back from the dead or something, but this is my version of Solar, so we're just gonna skip all that. Okay, so his face is kind of okay, so half of his face, because he's kind of I think his appearance is based off a real eclipse. You guys know what I'm talking about, a solar eclipse. And, well, I'm assuming that should have been obvious considering solar is literally in his name. So, assuming that should have been obvious. So half of his face is this light orange, and the other half is almost a brown, a brownish, almost not exactly black, but a brownish shade of black or something. Yeah, but not fully black. I don't know. And he also has this white Superstar Daycare T-shirt, which they would sometimes sell merch at their gift shops. The daycare would. So he happened to be wearing one of those shirts. I don't know why they had him wear one of those shirts. Maybe it's to sponsor the daycare or something. I mean, it would make sense. If they got And then he also has this varsity jacket tied around his waist. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes mechanics would have, like, their jackets, like, tied around their waists. A few other, I don't know, a few high schoolers and, like, teenagers would do that, too. I've been meaning to learn how to do that, but it's kind of hard. And he also has some old trousers, like large trouser pants, which are like one of Sunny's old trousers that I think they found in a back room nearby. I think the creators of him were too lazy to get him his own clothes, so they just threw on a Superstar Daycare t-shirt and then one of Sunny's unused trousers. And it was so old that parts of it like fell out, so they had to get patches of random colored fabric and then sew it on to fix it up. They did kind of a sloppy job on it, so his pants kind of looks a little worn, but maybe that's meant to keep up the old mechanic appearance, which they definitely do a good job of that. And also, he wears white socks, which is mostly covered by these brown work boots, and he also has brown work gloves, which is pretty fancy for a mechanic, and he also wears goggles. I never see him although he usually doesn't really put them over his eyes unless he's working on something, which he doesn't really appear to work on a lot of stuff anymore, because for the reason I'll get to in a little bit. But and his eyes. His eyes are like an ember orange color, and well, they can glow in the dark, which is cool, right? And his wire. And by the way, it also says that the goggles. For those of you that might be confused, no, the goggles are not attached to him. He can take the goggles off of him whatever he pleases. He just likes to wear them a lot because, you know, he thinks it fits him really well. He only really seems to take him off at night anyways, so, you know, it's like a cool little accessory. He doesn't have wires coming out of the back of his head. His rays can move. Oh, and he also has rays. I forgot to mention that. I mean, how could he is, like, technically, like, one of Sun's counterparts, quote-unquote counterparts. So he has rays, and they can move. They can't really move as fast or as efficiently as Sun's can. And I think because his model was never finished, his rays can't really spin much or not at all. So, it really, you know, anyways. And, when he sometimes takes off his fingers, in which, again, just much like his goggles, Solo doesn't really take off his gloves much either, because, again, he thinks they fit him. But he does take them off at night, and his hands, they're not that unique. They're just brown and orange and they're like a slight silver tint. According to the description, seem to be silver with slight tints of brown. Silver with slight tints of brown. What the hell does it mean by that? Where did silver come from? I'm just gonna assume that his arms are like the palm of his hand is like the same darkish orange, darkish brown color, and his fingers are the same light orange, and like he has slight silver tints, almost like nails. I mean, everybody needs them. So, yeah. And, yeah, that's pretty much Solar's description in full. I don't know how accurate that was, and I don't know if any of you are confused, but if I can figure out, if I can do like a mini cam over the corner of the screen, I promise I will one day figure that out for you guys. Though it might take a while, and I'm kind of surprised it's still recording me. I can't even see myself right now, and I don't know if the rest of you can see me either. But yeah, hang on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Hi. For those of you that saw or see me already, hello again. And for those of you that didn't see me throughout that whole ordeal, I'm back. But yeah, I still need to figure out how on earth I'm gonna do a mini cam in the corner of the screen, so that way you guys can see me and the thing I'm searching up, and I can still see myself. Professional gamers, even though I'm not really a gamer, I'm a vlogger. So yeah. So now that we got Eclipse's official appearance, Solar's official appearance out of the way, it's now time to tell his story. So it all starts at the daycare. Yeah, I remember how I mentioned how he doesn't appear to be working much anymore. Yeah, that's because he's scrapped. Yes, you heard me right. He was supposed to be a mechanic, but when the virus, for those of you that played Security Breach, or SB, as I like to call it for short, for those of you that played SB, you probably remember how there was this virus going around, making all the robots glitch out and go crazy. Well, Solar happened to be constructed during that same virus, but back then, the workers at Freddy Fazbear's Fazbear Entertainment, that's what the company was called, Fazbear Entertainment, they didn't really acknowledge the virus much back then, so they were pretty much unaware of it even existing. So they were still constructing Solar. However, during his construction phase, Solar got infected. Although I don't know if he got fully infected, or he might have been. I don't know if he was fully infected, but then again, his mind was kind of vulnerable because, like I said, he wasn't being done built. He was under construction back then. So, and also, quick side note: his voice box model was never complete, so he didn't have a voice. So he couldn't talk even if he wanted to. And every time he talked, he sounded like a broken radio, so he just didn't talk at all because his voice box was never finished. So yeah, the virus is going around, and it caused him to go nutso on some of the people he was working on. And one time, when a worker was working on him, he turned away for around 5 seconds to try to grab a fuse from one of the nearby drawers, and the virus kicked in within Solar once again. And then Solar grabbed a saw blade, and before the worker could even react, he turned around, seeing Solar loom over him with the giant saw blade now turned on and whirring. And the worker could only shriek before Solar violently torn to shreds with the saw blade. And the worker was later found dead right in front of Solar, torn to bits, completely slashed from top to bottom. In fact, there was barely even a body left, and Solar was just chilling nearby on the ground, powered off, as if as if he didn't just attack them right last night, because this is night shift, so no other worker was around when this occurred. And this is just one of, like, I don't know, around 5 or 7 instances where he would snap and kill somebody. So yeah. Eventually they just gave up on Solar altogether. I mean, they ran a few tests on him to make sure he worked, and he seemed fine. But the more he snapped, the less faith the workers had that he would ever be able to be put in front of kids. And so they just ditched him in the back room one day and stopped working on him. And before he was scrapped, he was still allowed to roam the daycare a few times. He just couldn't do anything or interact with anybody, and he couldn't talk because, like I said, he didn't really have a voice. So all he did was just, walk around, watch Sunny and Moon work from afar, minding his own business. And now and then when the fire occurred, Solar luckily managed to escape through a nearby fire exit, which was in the back room he was in, because the back room had a fire exit. And, he got out, so that was that. And then he traveled and then he saw the train, because the train in this world, sometimes a magic ghost train would appear that could take you to any destination, no matter how far away. It would fly over the freaking ocean to get you to where it would need to go. So it was basically a magic train. And so Solar, curious, walked towards this magic train and found out it was going to Lovely Island, which is an island right next to Mako Island, which is the island where the main story takes place. So Solar got on the train. And train isn't really too luxurious, just a bunch of empty carts, no seats, none of those fancy people with suits that would walk around with food trays. Nope! This is basically a cargo train, but for passengers. So yeah, it's not too much of a luxurious train, but Solar didn't care. He got on, and he rode the train to Lovely Island, and then he arrived, and then he got off the train, he explored, a little bit, and then at that time, Lovely Island was going through a very brutal war with a rival island known as Greenleaf, which at that time was ran by a very greedy king, who only wanted resources. And even before then, Greenleaf and Lovely Island had a very painfully long rivalry against each other. And I don't even know when the war started, but it started back in 2021. So around 4 years the war lasted. And Solar will happen to be walking around right at the edge of the Lovely Island borderlines. And then he encountered a group of scientists, and the scientists stopped, and they I don't know what happened, they locked eyes on each other for like 2 minutes. Literally just 2 minutes of dead silence and awkwardly staring. And then after those 2 minutes, the scientists then told Solar to follow them. And Solar, not really know what was happening, just sort of went along with it. He's a very chill, very laid-back kind of guy. He doesn't really let anything get to him much, unless something pisses him off. And if something pisses him off, he just starts throwing haymakers. Not literally. He's not physically violent or anything. He just verbally explodes like a firecracker. And of course, he wasn't like that back then because, like I said, no voice. No voice to be found. And so he went along with the scientists. and the scientists took it back to their research facility, which I guess I should give a short description of the facility. So this research facility, which I have yet to give a name to because I cannot think of a name for that facility on the top of my head, but it's basically a facility that has been making these war machines to fight alongside real soldiers in the war, so that whenever they get injured or quote unquote die, they just get prepared and they get back on the field. And besides, war machines don't feel anything. They don't feel emotions. They don't feel regret. They don't get PTSD. They just keep on fighting, as cold and as emotionless as ever. And Solar, he just happened to become the new experiment, alongside thousands and thousands of other war machines who have been fighting alongside him in the war. And so they did some tests on him. They tested for responses, and Solar was very responsive, and then they gave him a new body, which happened to be this dragon. All the war machines are dragons, by the way. And they gave him this armor thing. This armor. And before that, they taught him how to turn into a dragon, which took a few weeks. I mean, transformation is not as easy as it looks, okay? It's not just a poof, oh wow, you're a rabbit. It's not that easy, So, yeah, after 3 weeks, or maybe less, maybe around 2 weeks, or maybe 1.5 weeks, I don't know, they finally got him to transform into a dragon. And then they gave him this armor. Or I want to say it's armor. In fact, I think it's literally armor. And the moment, it's made to match his real colors. And in his dragon form, by the way, unlike his real form, his natural form, where he's half light orange and half blackish, brownish black, in his armor, he's this fiery orange and almost orangish red color, almost like embers or solar flares, but a deep dark orange, and with the hint, with most of it black, like a pumpkin, mix a pumpkin, pumpkin mixed with charcoal, and the eyes pupilless and glowing a bright embery orange. And then the armor sort of became, never mind, it did become part of it. I was going to say it became attached to him, but then I realized he wouldn't be able to get it off if it was attached to him permanently, so I'm just going to scrap that idea. Throw it to the wayside. Screw you. Attachable armor. So yeah, they got him in armor, and then it was time for combat training, in which they got this huge, not too huge, but still probably like one of the more deadlier, almost I don't want to say a test dummy, but a prototype they built for newer war machines to get their combat training. And this thing was the size of a bear. Literally the size of an adult male grizzly, maybe even bigger. And after a bit of fighting, Solar felt a spark. It was exploding inside of him, almost I don't want to say, kind of like a fight or flight response. And then he fought off the prototype, and then he was made into a war machine. So that was that part. And then he got onto the battlefield, and well, the rest is history. He fought alongside the other war machines. Okay? But as time passed, Solar's personality began to change. slowly at first. Maybe the thrill of the fighting was starting to get to his head. Or maybe he was just angry? But the more years he spent in that war, the more cold, almost empty he started feeling on the inside. And over time he became numb. Numb to the death and numb to the blood and gore that surrounded him on the battlefield. And he gained the powers to breathe solar flares. Yes, you heard me correctly. He could literally use his solar breath to boil a soldier alive within seconds. Literally no soldier that encountered him is ever able to survive. In fact, I think more of Greenleaf soldiers died than Lovely soldiers did. I mean, Lovely soldiers died, but Greenleaf soldiers were not so lucky. Like, every new troops, not a single soldier walked back to their homes alive. Like, literally, no Greenleaf soldier that has ever entered that battlefield had survived. I mean, some of them did survive, but only for a little while. Either another war machine would get to them, a Lovely Island soldier would shoot them down, or they would die on their way to the hospital. So literally, no soldier, not one, set foot off that battlefield without death. And yeah, I'm dead serious. Everyone who encountered this guy did. And over time, Solaris gained, and remember that saw blade I mentioned earlier. You know, that saw blade that Solar used to kill to snap and kill some of the coworkers at the Pizzaplex. Yeah, it turns out he was using that same freaking saw blade. But this time there was a saw blade near the tip of his tail. Yes, he literally had a saw blade attached to the tip of his tail, where he can use to just whip and tear his victims to absolute shreds. Oh, and also, his armor, whenever he goes back to his normal form, his armor has the power to change back into his normal form with him. So even when he's not his dragon form, that armor would still keep up its color. Same light orange tint, same charcoal black, and his eyes, his pupilless ember orange eyes with ember orange mixed with yellow eyes would still be the exact same. And the tip of his rays are also an orange mixed with red. So it's like his armor is morphing with him, which Lovely Island scientists do have a lot of like magical technology. Like, they are masters of technology. So the whole purpose of their facility is to study how to make robots and technology more functional using ancient magic. That's pretty much the whole purpose why the Lovely Island facility was built. For the purpose of studying technology mixed with ancient magic. So, yeah. I guess Solar was just their more recent experiment, alongside the other war machines who were fighting in that war. And, yeah, but then one day, something went wrong. Very wrong for Solar. One day they were fighting, and it was normal for about 3 hours, or for the first 3 hours. Well, normal is in the same amount of gore, same death, same solar flare explosions. But recently, Greenleaf is getting more and more desperate to win as of late. So they started out making war machines of their own. Except their war machines were a little more mastered. But that didn't stop them from meeting the same fate as their Greenleaf soldiers, of course. I mean, for one thing, Greenleaf's war machines weren't trained as heavily as Lovely war machines. And second of all, well, yeah, there really is no second reason. They just weren't trained because Greenleaf's king, being the greedy butthole he is, just thought that they were naturally built to, go to war without any training, which, boy, oh boy, was he mother trucking wrong. And it isn't just new war machines that Greenleaf has made. Yeah, they also made bombs too. Or not bombs, I mean grenades. Yeah, they made grenades too. That like send these magic electrical currents and can explode. And yeah, that's their grenades. They explode and they send off electric currents while they explode. So they kind of blast a limb off and electrocute someone all at once because magic. And Bailey is considered one of Lovely Island's very first war machines, and he was like a chief, and like he was like a war general. He was a veteran. He was like a master class in war. Nothing could take him down, and so Bailey was fighting against another war machine, and he happened to be way too close, barely 3 feet away from one of the grenades. And Solar noticed this, and Solar was in his dragon form, by the way. I don't know why I had to point that out. Maybe not to confuse you all. Anyway, so they were fighting, and Solar noticed, and he also noticed that the grenade was only 15 seconds away from exploding. And so he pushed Bailey out of the way right as it exploded. And while it saved Bailey's life, or at least kept him scathed, it didn't keep Solar. It didn't spare Solar. Solar was practically almost hovering right over the grenade when it exploded. And it sent Solar flying through the air before landing 3 miles away from the spot where the grenade exploded. And the grenade happened to remove, his right leg in the process. His right leg and a chunk of his right side was also completely blown off from the grenade. Solar luckily survived, which is miraculous because no normal human being has ever survived a grenade blast without losing their life in the process. But he was rendered unconscious due to the power of the blast. And by then, the two sides of the war were retreating to their camps for the night. And the others forgot about Solar. And they saw Solar and they thought he was dead, and they didn't want to waste any parts, so the scientists just walked away, leaving Solar to bleed out on the battlefield. But Solar survived his encounter and his blast, but was confused as to where everybody was. And so he dragged off, stepping away from the battlefield. Did he step away from the battlefield, or did he keep fighting? He kept fighting. Yeah. Wait, no. Did he keep fighting, or did he... that's kind of a thing I've been debating on. Like, does he just walk away? I mean, they literally ditched him. They left him to bleed out. But I don't know. I don't know if he kept fighting or not. I'm trying to think. Did he? Yeah, and besides, that war... I think that incident happened right before the war ended. So, it's not like he could really fight on for much longer anyway. The war literally ended, like 3 days later after the incident. So, yeah. So, yeah, he just walked away. And then, across the horizon, he happened to discover Mako Island. And so, he flew there. And he didn't have his armor, because at that moment, the armor became infused with him, so all he has to do is, like, press a little button that was attached to, like, his arm somewhere, and, his armor can, he has to activate a button within his head. No, it wasn't on his arm, the button was in his head, not his arm. I don't know why I said it was in his arm. And, so yeah, he has to press a button in his head, and his armor can materialize on him. Like, those cool Gladiator movies? Like, those cool Transformer movies where the Transformers turn from the cars to the robots? Yeah, that's kind of like what the armor process for Solar is like, excluding the car part and the bending, twisting body part, that is. So yeah, it's like one of those cool fantasy movies that you sometimes see, where you see the armor doing the cool sounds, like as it closes around a hero's body. That's kind of what it's like. So if I could do animation, which I'm terrible at the moment, I could show you, but I'm terrible at animation. So. Did I mention I'm terrible in animation? I don't know when that became obvious, but it's obvious now. So yeah, he arrived to Mako Island, he met Golden Tail, he became a part of them alongside the rest of his family, and yeah, that's pretty much where Solar's story ends for now. It's a to be continued sort of scenario. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end this vlog here because this thing is like 43 freaking minutes long, and yeah. Oh, and before I forget, tomorrow, to celebrate the arrival of spring break, tomorrow, I'll have a surprise guest get in my body. Like, remember when I told you guys in one of my earlier vlogs that characters would sometimes get in my body? Yeah, that's gonna happen. And now I have a very special guest getting in my body to visit all of you guys. And it might be a live stream. And, I will turn on live chat this time so that you guys can, virtually talk to him. So yeah, I am so freaking psyched for you guys to meet this character. You are gonna love him. But it's a surprise, and you won't find out until the live stream tomorrow night. And the live stream will start tomorrow night. At 7:10 sharp. So y'all better be there, because you guys are going to love him. So, yeah, like I said, be there at the live stream tomorrow night by 7:10. And hopefully my live stream will load this time. Yeah, I see how I told you guys I'd be using live streams for special events. And I can assure you, the arrival of this character will be a special event indeed. But yeah, be there tomorrow night, Friday, March 21st at 7:10. You guys remember that, okay? But yeah, I'm going to be ending. I am so excited for the live stream tomorrow night. It's going to be a blast. So, yeah, I'll see you guys then. But until then, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.